So in this post, I'm actually including for you your team assignments, okay? So what I'm looking for is that you start communicating with your team. I provided you your university email addresses, and so you guys should start talking, okay? That's really it right now, all right? And so we're just kind of getting past the add drop deadline so that it's safe to go ahead and put you guys into Teams. I think I've got you mostly on teams of 5 or 6, okay? And the next time you'll actually kind of have to do something with your team is by March 9th, you'll email me your product idea, okay? And so by then, I would expect that every team member has been participating and communicating with your team. If at that time you have not heard from a team member, that's when you would let me know, okay? And what I'm going to ask you to do at that time is, if you get to that time and you still haven't heard from a team member completely, I'll ask that you send them an email and copy me and just say, hey, our team has been working on our product idea. We haven't heard from you. Are you, still moving forward in the class? I will reply all as a way to kind of help encourage the non-participating team member to begin participating, and just to make sure, if anything has changed in their situation, then I can address it individually with them, okay? The product idea for this class, you'll be doing your project on something that is kind of semi-magical. I believe I mentioned this already in the intro video. An example that I've had, you're not allowed to do this one, but I had a previous group do this, was calorie-free alcohol. So it doesn't really exist, and it's technically not possible, but you're allowed to create something like that as a product it needs to not exist, and it's okay if it's something that's it doesn't exist because you need a slightly magical component, all right? Nothing COVID related, please. I mean, I just can't, that's just a preference. Let's just not have COVID related stuff. It's more fun for the class assignment if they're unique. You can do anything you want, keep it kind of PG-13 in terms of appropriateness, okay? And so for now, that's kind of the update on your assignment. One other thing I wanted to provide information on for your simulations, okay? So the last average for the last simulation, if I'm not mistaken, it was an 89, all right? And so as a class, you guys have gotten the hang of the simulations at this point. However, I know there are a few students that are still some people are killing it, and you kind of get okay, well, I have to kind of study before I take it, and then when I take it, it's a good gauge of how you're doing with the material. The policy that I am going to put in place for you, though, is that for the class, there's a total, let me make sure I have it right. I believe there's 11 simulations. There are 11 simulations. I drop one of them, right? And so really there are 10 simulations. So the policy that I'm going to give in place, as long as you complete at least 10 of the simulations, okay? You complete 10 of them. What I'm going to do is guarantee that your simulation average, because that's worth 10 points, you will not receive fewer than 6 points. So the worst that you can get, as long as you participate in all of them, is 6 out of the 10 points on your final grade, okay? So as long as you try on all of them, I'm promising you a D. For that simulation component. And by the way, keep in mind, I'm still gonna drop one of them, and so this is just if you are participating in all of them. And so for that to kick in, you'd have to participate in all 10 and average under 60%, which is probably unlikely, but I want to give you that peace of mind that as long as you try, I'm going to give you at least the majority of your points, so 6 out of 10 points for effort, okay? So I just want to put that in place. I don't want you to have anxiety about it's mainly that you're trying in the simulations and having the experience, and you do see, I do want there to be some change, though, in score if you have really prepared well for the simulation and kind of learned the specific area that the simulation is going to cover. And so I see, especially in the most recent one, quite a few students did it really did well on it. And if you're still getting the hang of them, this gives you a little safety net. on your simulation scores, okay? And so do keep in mind, smart books are pretty much completion. That's worth 10 points. The larger bucket for grades are your quiz averages, okay? Those are open note and open book, and so you should be able to do quite well in that area. And so on the simulations, you have a little more skin in the game, but I want to give you that little bit of an extra safety net. So there are 11. I will drop 1 as long as you have attempted 10. So if you, now this goes away if you don't attempt at least 10. Okay, so that's the deal. You have to have attempted at least 10 of the simulations and finished all 10 of them. Okay, they have to be 10 completed simulations. So I have to have some sort of completed score for you on all 10. If you complete all 10 and you don't end up with a 60 or better average, I will guarantee that 6 out of the 10 points as the lowest score that you will receive for that. Okay, so it's just kind of a safety net. But the deal is, you have to complete at least 10 out of the 11 simulations for that 6 out of 10 safety net to kick in for you. Okay? If you have any other questions, let me know, and keep up the good work in the semester.